Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dobby Books. Well, my semester has finally slowed down enough that I actually have some time right now. So half my classes are done. I just have one class that I have to study for a final, and the other class I just have to polish up the last of my semester-long essay that I had to do. That was for my history class. There's really, I mean, it seems so effortless compared to everything else I had to do. And today's Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Today's the 5th then. Today's the 5th. So it's a Thursday. Thursday for me during the semester is like my Friday. I couldn't wait to sit down and just talk to everybody because I think about you in the middle of my crazy week, wondering when I'm going to be able to sit down and chat with everyone again. And I did get a few books. I also have been able to a few times in the last couple of weeks to sit down and continue reading the books that I covered with you a little while ago. So I'll tell you where I'm at in each one. And the good thing is now that essentially the semester is over, I do have time to sit down in the evening and read and finish these books because they are very interesting. So let's get started. What I'm still reading, which I already introduced all of you to, is the book How to Stand Up to a Dictator, The Fight for Our Future by Maria Ressa. And as you can see, I didn't get too far. What do you think? A fourth of the way through. This is the part that I've read. So let's just say a third of the way through. It is very good. Okay, so the next one that I have that I'm reading is Redwall, of course. And again, this is a thicker book, so anything above this tag is what I've read so far. But I'm going to be making more progress now that the semester is essentially over. I'm very much enjoying Redwall again. And when I first read this, by the way, I think I had only read this first book. Maybe I touched on a little bit the second one, but I don't really remember. I'm going to see if I can read through the series, all 22 books. I have plans. I have plans for this break in the semester. I have until January 20th. So I have all these things I want to do. One thing I am going to do that I don't think I can show you a book for, but it's going to be coming from probably from one of either this shelf or this shelf, more likely this shelf. Those are my books on literature, literary theory, literary criticism. What I plan on doing in preparation for my second attempt at a capstone is I want to read at least a couple chosen essays from one of my books there and really take apart that essay. I want to find the thesis. I want to see how they break it down, to defending their thesis, the reasons they give, the quotes that they use, the analysis that they give, to kind of get my mind in the right place for when it becomes my turn to write my own essay, my own critique. Because I still, in all honesty, feel incredibly, not unprepared, but I guess I could put that word in there, unqualified to write an essay of that like. But I guess I might as well learn since I'm about to graduate, and I do plan on getting a graduate degree. So let's hope it helps me this upcoming semester. If any of you, because I know some of my viewers are teachers, if any of you have any suggestions as to essays I can look at or writing helps I can explore, anything that you think would be helpful to me in writing my capstone or writing a scholarly literary essay, I'm all ears, and I would be most appreciative for any help that you could offer. The next one, these are the books that I got. So books when I went for my little jaunts into the bookstore when I was procrastinating and not studying and not, and I wasn't doing I planned to work on my essay on any particular day, but some days I think I was just procrastinating, and I said, well, let me go to the bookstore, and I would just blow a couple of hours because, we all do it. Anyway, one of the books I found this at a Barnes and Noble, but not the one that I normally go to. I went to another one, another town over, not too far, and they had organized their Penguin classics in a separate section, and it was wonderful to see just all Penguin classics, and I could look them up by author. Oh, I took a picture of it because I just thought it was a beautiful sight. And this is the book I chose by Matthew Lewis, The Monk. And this is a book, if any of you have read Northanger Abbey, the gentleman that is interested in Catherine, I forget his name now, but he really was a loser. He was overconfident, he was cocky, he was irresponsible, selfish, I want to say self-concerned, but his whole world was himself. He was the center of the universe, and he kept trying to impress Catherine, but he was a buffoon. And he obviously wasn't much of a reader, and Catherine was, and she was talking to him about some books that she had read, and Jane Austen had included in her story some actual titles that had been published during the time. And because Northanger Abbey is a sort of, if I can use the word spoof, or there's another word for it, I don't remember what it is, but she was addressing Gothic literature in Northanger Abbey and styling her own story of Northanger Abbey like a Gothic novel. And this buffoon who was interested in Catherine says, oh, I never read. The only good book I've read recently is The Monk. And if you know anything about The Monk, this is a Gothic novel authored by a male. And the differences that you would get with Gothic novels, if there was a female author, there was a different emphasis in the story than the male author. With a female author, you would have usually a male transgressor, and he becomes the villain. And he finds a way to take over the great house, whatever this great old house is. He entraps the heroine, and he threatens death or sexual assault. So this is the general format or layout of a Gothic novel written by a woman. But a Gothic novel written by a man is a little bit different. There's normally a transgression of some sort of social transgression, exceeding taboos, social taboos. There's explorations of the imagination's battle against religion, law, and limitation. And finally, here's the difference. Murder, sexual assault, incest, and selling one's soul to the devil. These are things that happen in the male-authored Gothic novel, whereas with a female-authored Gothic novel, there's the threat of death or sexual assault. So, this male-authored, it's more graphic. And there is a sexual assault that happens. So, probably not considered the best literature, the best title to read, even if it's within the Gothic literature, because it was sort of poo-pooed at the time. But when you have to look at Gothic novels, what's like reading Northanger Abbey, right, compared to reading The Monk, which dealt with sexual assault and the other standards of Gothic literature. And so that revealed a lot about this character that was speaking to Catherine. He wanted to sound like he was smart, and he was witty, and he was learned, but he loved the monk. So that kind of made me laugh. So when I saw this book, oops, I'm sorry, Lily. When I saw this book, I went ahead and got it. Just got to educate myself. All right. Now, right off the top of my head, one of these booktubers, I'm not remembering her name. I will post her name up on the screen, and I do apologize to her. Right off the top of my head, I can't remember. But she has decided that she's going to read through a biography of all the presidents of the United States. Some of you will be familiar with this challenge. And I thought, isn't that interesting? Okay, I think I'll do that. So I had to go out and look for an autobiography of George Washington. There are a lot of them available out there, but I eventually settled on this one, You Never Forget Your First. And this is authored by Alexis Coe. And let me see. There's something here about Alexis Coe. I was trying to figure out, I want to look at these authors. I want something that's, someone a little more on the serious side. I didn't want something that's just funny and mostly unserious. I wanted something that had some more solid information. Not necessarily an older author. I would be fine with a contemporary author. I just wanted a good book. So I started with this one. And the author, Alexis Coe, is the award-winning author of Alice plus Frida Forever, A Murder in Memphis. Coe has frequently appeared on CNN and the History Channel and has contributed to the New York Times, the New Yorker, and many other publications. She is a host of Audible's Presidents Are People Too and No Man's Land. Coe holds a graduate degree in American history and was a research curator at the New York Public Library. She lives in Brooklyn, New York. So I thought, okay, good credentials. She passes. So I'm going to start with this one, You Never Forget Your First, by Alexis Coe, a biography of George Washington, and I'll let you know how that goes. And the next one I got is a challenge that Robert has given us. And that is, he wanted to do, I don't know if Robert is doing the presidential reads, but he has challenged us to read about the Roman emperors. And I thought, now that's interesting, because I have studied some Roman history. I thought, well, let me do this. But I did not have a biography of Augustus Caesar, the first emperor. And I went looking, but I remembered that Robert had a recommendation, and I trust Robert's credentials very much so. And I thought, well, let me get the one that Robert has recommended. So this is the one he said, The Life of Rome's First Emperor, Augustus, by Anthony Everitt. And Anthony Everitt, it says here, is the best-selling author of Cicero. I have not yet read that one. And let's see if I can find something on the author here. No, nothing. But if Robert recommended it, then I know it's a good book. So this is going to be my first read for the Roman emperors, and this will be my first read for American presidents. Excuse me. And because of the political weather that we're having and that is approaching next month, I decided I needed to review some information I learned in school just to get, just to have my facts straight. So I got the Constitution of the United States with the Declaration of Independence and the Articles of the Confederation. And this is who publishes this? I thought it was Penguin, but I'm wrong. Fall River Press. Good basic information, I think, for most of us to have. And I'm going to be doing a little perusal and a review on this. Let's see, blah, 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 blah. I know there's nothing back here to give any extra information. But these were the 3 books that I got at one of my last visits to Barnes & Noble. I will be going through these during my winter break, and now that I have time to do that. Plus, I'm going to be finishing up this book and this book during my winter break. I don't know if I'm going to read The Monk. I don't know. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 books that I'm going to be attacking during my winter break. I think I can do this with the time that I have on hand. Do you know how happy this makes me? I can just look at the books in my library or the new books that I've stacked and say, gosh, which one do I want to attack now? I can do it. I don't have to look at it and say, I have to wait. I have to wait. I get to do this. It's like, I don't know. It's like going to Disneyland after school's out. I don't know. It's a happy feeling I have that I can go and read my books and there's nothing holding me back. So I think I'll have a good time. I'm wondering if there's anything else. I did get a recent shipment. I think Robert is going to suspect what it is because he and I were discussing some books after my review on the Ignatius Catholic Study Bible. There was information we were going back and forth with, and there was one set of books that was brought up that I said, okay, and I got them. And the shipment arrived, but I'm not going to do an unboxing. I'll bring that up later. I'm caught up, everybody, and I'm so happy I got to do this. So I will talk to you in the next few days, and happy holidays to all of you. Bye-bye.